Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this time, I'm going to talk a little bit about some pulps. Again, pulp magazines. Now, I've done many episodes on pulps, showed you the old pulps that I've got. The last time I did some pulps, it was the modern reprint pulps of jungle stories and stuff. Well, this time, I want to talk about some reprint pulps of your of the more adventurous crime-busting type. And these are all well-known characters, and most of these were also published in the 60s and 70s in regular paperback form. And I have some of these in that form. And I wish I had gotten more. So these were about 20 years ago. I started getting some of these pulp reprint magazines, reprints and facsimiles, and I guess they're still being published. But these went to the bookstores. I know that they're available online. I don't know the name of the publisher. I don't know where to find them. But if you just look online, you can probably get them. I've seen some other comic book channels talk about them and show some. But so I'll just show you some that I've got here. I've got only one of the Shadow. I have several of the reprint novels because I love the Shadow. I love the Shadow radio show. Of course, the magazine Shadow and the radio show Shadow were very, very different. And you may be aware of the 1990s movie of The Shadow, and I just love that, and a lot of people don't care for it, but I really loved that one. And that was a blending in that story. Maybe that's why they don't like it. It was a blending of the two versions of The Shadow, because The Shadow in the radio show, of course, he had the ability to cloud men's minds and be invisible with some kind of telepathic means, and he only worked with the lady Margot Lane, and of course Margot Lane was not a character in the pulp magazine, and she was but the Shadow in the magazine, he wore his dark, this is the way he was presented, as you see here now, and he was worked in the shadows, and he had a whole organization, a bunch of agents who worked for him and would gather information for him, and because a lot of the people that he saved in the course of his adventures, he then recruited as agents for him. But he just wore his hat and his cloak, and he would hide in the shadows, in the darkness, which made him appear invisible. So they're very largely different, and I love both versions. So here, this reprint has The Groove of Doom, two Shadow adventures. The Groove of Doom, two dynamic pulp thrillers, and The Masked Lady. And these were new typeset. See, this is cover art by George Rosen and Graves Gladney, with interior illustrations by Tom Lavelle and Ed Cartier. So you can see the Groove of Doom, and they would reuse. But this is all new typeset for the I bet they reused the interior illustrations. And this has 2 adventure center, but in the back, it also has a script for the radio show. And this must have been from when Orson Welles was doing it. The Masked Lady. Some nice illustrations. And of course, a lot of these pulp illustrators later. These, I don't know if these guys did or not. Also did comic books. And has an article right in the middle by Will Murray. And of course, Will Murray has written a lot of newer adventures of Doc Savage primarily, and various other things as well. Also did in later years has done some of the Destroyer novels. Oh, so that's the Shadow. And I only have 2 volumes featuring Doc Savage by Kenneth Robeson. That's good. And this is done the same way. These are from 2009. Cover painting by Walter Baumhofer. And interior illustrations by Paul Orban. All kinds of stuff. This is a Murder Mirage and The Other World. And The Other World, I haven't read any of these, is a story. Looks like it's inspired by The Lost World, because it has extinct animals. Here's a saber-toothed tiger, and then there's some dinosaurs. I see some. Of course, I'm not going to find cavemen types. Some dinosaurs. Yeah, dinosaurs. Pterosaurs. Some good stuff. And is this the one, or is it the other one? It must be the other one. Okay, those are always good. I have several Doc Savage. I did I showed most of my Doc Savage novels. I only have a few because they just take up space if I get too many of them, and I haven't got them all read. And I did an episode on the cover artist of the paperback books, whose name now I cannot remember. I know him. I did a whole episode on him. This was shortly after he passed away. This has The Mental Wizard and The Secret of the Sioux. What is the strange enigma of Z? And the man behind Doc Savage. And another little article by Will Murray in this, The Mental Wizard, Secret of Sioux. Cover by Robert G. Harris, and interior illustrations again by Paul Orban. Johnny spots featuring his assistants. Exciting. Always thrilling. I love Doc Savage. Of course, Doc Savage was a big inspiration for a lot of the stuff regarding Superman. Here's the intermission by here, and this is about H. Rider Haggard. Z. And then this is the one. This is the one in the back. It has again, the Society Amazonia. This is a radio show, or a radio script of Doc Savage. Oh, cool. Cool. Then we have from the creators of Doc Savage. It says The Avenger. Again, he was fairly popular in reprint paperbacks. Also created by Lester Dent, Kenneth Robeson. It says, tuned for murder. Said, plus the Smiling Dog's second power-packed pulp novel and a Gadget Man thriller. And I never heard of Gadget Man, but it's got Gadget Man. It's a shorter story, another recurring character, or a recurring hero apparently created by Lester Dent, and it showed in here. He was also in comics. Gadget Man. Of course, all these characters have been in comics at one point or another. Yeah. Richard Henry Benson, The Smiling Dogs. Kaboom, Mac and Smitty. That's Ben. And here we show stuff about the books. Great stuff. Great thrilling adventures. I love all these things. Wish I had more. And then we're going to finish this up with, this is the only one of these that I've seen. G8 and his Battle Aces. And they also had some reprints of G8 in paperback form. I've got, or I had, I'm not sure if I still have it, had one. And then I showed one of Gold Key did one issue in the 60s of a comic book. This features a book-length novel by Robert J. Hogan, The Midnight Eagle. And it's just like this, except this one is a facsimile edition, where they're instead of having reset type, they're being reproduced directly from one of the old pulps. You can see in the type here, and it was, you can see it was originally published on the poor quality paper that the pulps had used. Oh, some great stuff. Great stuff. And of course, G8 was a spy type fighting unusual menaces in World War I. Well, come on, weren't any more? Not as many pictures. Oh, I guess that's all. Anyway, so that's all I've got for you this time. With some of the great pulp adventures. I love these books. I love these stories. And I wish I could have gotten more, but they were fairly expensive. And now, at the time, and I couldn't get too many. So, I want to thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. And do leave comments down below. What do you think of these pulp cover paintings and in the interior, and these characters? Oh, it's a bunch of great adventure characters. They were very imaginative, and all of these eventually led to comic books. So that's all. And remember, comics are art.